Yep, you've seen the thumbnail or the title of this video, and based off of what I've been seeing on the interwebs, you might think that I have lost my mind. But yeah, I've been seeing all across social media and even here on YouTube that a lot of people are saying that She-Hulk completely sucks. Now, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When I first started watching the series, I have to admit that I could not get into the show. But then I rewatched the series from the start to the finale, and I realized that not only is this show good, but it's actually brilliant for the MCU. When I say brilliant, I do not by any means mean that the show is perfect. Actually, by the middle of the series, I was just craving for something exciting to happen. And I really wish that they would have actually took time to show how bomb of a lawyer that Jen is. Actually, that's my biggest gripe about the show. I mean, when this is the poster for the series, I felt like we could have had a little bit more lawyering. But yeah, when I do say brilliant, I mean how smart that this show is for the MCU. How they weren't afraid to give the audience something completely new and to completely shatter expectations. Now, a part of the reason why I feel like I couldn't get into the show properly when I first watched it is because I kept thinking about or expecting what was coming next. Questions like, what show or movie is this series gonna connect to? Where's Daredevil? And where are we gonna see Wong next? Because I mean, he is everywhere.
You got sucked into another show, didn't you?
We're really in an era of peak TV.
But then it dawned on me when I was rewatching the show that once I got the series part out of my head and realized that this show is much more of a satire comedic sitcom, the show is really enjoyable. And as weird as it sounds, I know that we're in California or more toward the West Coast, but it makes the MCU feel more lived in. I know we went around the world with Eternals and more recently with Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel, and the Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor has taken us outer space, but in She-Hulk, when you have Asgardians interacting with regular people or with superpowered beings, I don't know if we can call them mutants yet, all interacting with one another, it makes it feel like everything is connecting and not in its own little bubble. Now, I've seen some of the arguments that want to downplay She-Hulk, such as the CGI is a mess, which, okay, I can say in some parts, the CGI does take you out of the show, but in most parts, the CGI and She-Hulk, they look amazing. And it's funny how people are only trying to point out that in this series, which I can remember one of the biggest and best Marvel movies of all time had Bruce Banner's head floating on Hulkbuster. And another argument or conversation that I've gotten into myself is that Jen is too arrogant or too cocky. Like we haven't had that in the MCU yet.
Yeah, big man in a suit of armor. Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
The MCU has been around for 15 years. And if we're gonna have another 15 years and 40 movies and 40 TV shows, I would rather for all of them to actually feel like a comic book. No, they're not gonna be for everybody, but I would want them to make something like this, something that feels truly unique and truly different. Major spoilers here, but I know that the ending of the show really threw a lot of people off, where she literally broke through the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th wall and actually changed the ending of her show herself. I get how that can be too meta that it can jar a lot of people. But I'm gonna tell you, I would have rather had that ending than a big fight scene that just really didn't feel earned throughout the series. Because one of the problems that I have with most of these MCU shows is that the series is good, they tell a good story, but then at the end of it, they treat it like it's another superhero movie and we have to rush and we have to have a big fight scene at the end. That's why Loki in this series stands out to me so much, because they thought outside the box and they're like, hey, we could go that way, but let's do a 180 and do something that nobody's really expecting. I get why this show isn't going to be for a lot of people, but I'm sorry, if you're one of the ones that says the MCU is dead and haven't had any good projects since Endgame, then maybe the MCU isn't for you and you should just stop watching now. Guys, thank you for coming to my TED Talk / my She-Hulk review. What did you guys think of it? Did you absolutely hate it? Am I a moron? Just comment below, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what I do here, and I'll see you soon. Bye. I almost forgot the two MVPs. My two MVPs for the series is Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock / Daredevil, of course. Him being in this series made me more excited than ever to see Daredevil Born Again. And also Griffin Matthews, who played Luke Jacobson, Jen's designer, he is now and forever my Edna mode.
No kicks! Now, go on. Your new suit will be finished before your next assignment.
All right, now bye.